What if I told you there was a United States president who stepped out on his wife? Okay, the president having a side piece is not very shocking, right? But what if I told you there was a president who had 2 side pieces? One of his side pieces got pregnant and had his baby. And the second side piece extorted him and the Republican Party for money. This story takes place with our 29th president, Warren G. Harding, the original Warren G. Warren G. Harding started off as a lieutenant governor in Ohio, and then he became a senator, and that's where all these affairs took place. When he was a senator, his first affair was with a woman by the name of Carrie Fulton Phillips. Phillips was married, by the way, and she also had 2 children, and unfortunately, her son died as a toddler. As she was grieving, this is when Warren G. Harding made his move. Wow, that's And the worst part of this whole equation, Warren and his wife Florence were friends with Carrie and her husband James. Carrie and her husband went on vacation with the Hardings to Europe, a vacation where Warren and Carrie would find time to get it in. Man, what is this, the White Lotus? Anyways, apparently this affair lasted for about 15 years. Carrie's husband James and Florence both found out about this affair. James got upset and ended up moving the family to Europe just to get away from Warren G. Harding. And Florence said this wasn't the first time that Warren G. had smashed one of her friends. Apparently she was a bad friend picker. And follow-up question, what other friends did he smash? The Phillips family ended up separating. James ends up moving back to the United States. Carrie decides to live in Germany. Carrie moves back to Ohio because Germany is about to get into World War I. And guess what happens when she moves back to the OHIO?
A. What you doing?
A. Did I tell you that I'm running for president of America? Enough small talk. You know why we're here.
They start doing the nasty again. Warren just can't get enough. And this is where Carrie starts to blackmail. See, Carrie had a plan, y'all. For at this time, Warren G. Harding had just got the Republican nominee for presidency. Carrie loved living in Germany, and she was a German sympathizer. She told Warren that she'd go public with the affair if he didn't support Germany in World War I. Now, when you become a nominee for president, you gotta kind of tell your party about potential scandals and things like that, so your party can know how to spin the narrative if it ever comes out. He tells the Republican Party about the affair, and they were like, does she have any proof? And Warren G's like, yes, she has proof. I literally wrote her hundreds of love letters on United States Senate stationery. This fool wrote her love letters from his office with the United States Senate logo on it. You got to keep in mind, this is the 1920s. This was the worst scenario for the Republicans. The Republican Party was like, we got to make this go away, dude. Carrie ended up negotiating a sweet deal. She got a yearly salary for the rest of her life. She also negotiated an extended vacation to Asia for months on their dime in order to keep her silent. Now, while all this insanity is happening, Warren ends up knocking up his second mistress, Nan Britton. Listen, I don't condone stepping out on your wife, but this is the most incredible story I have ever heard. Now, Nan Britton's story isn't as juicy as Carrie Phillips' story, but she ends up having his baby a year before he becomes president. Warren G. Harding told Nan and the daughter he would take care of them, but unexpectedly he died 3 years later in his first term as president. Britton did want money after his death because it was very hard to be a single mom in the 20s, and Warren's widow Florence was like, nah. So Britton was like, okay, well, I'm gonna write a book. So Britton ends up writing a book called The President's Daughter. Should have paid her off, Florence. Now everybody knows the story. So that's Warren G. Harding's story, y'all. Bill Clinton's got nothing on this guy.